The moment Meghan Markle stepped back into the royal spotlight after turning her back on the palace, the tension in Britain wasn't just visible, it was electric. Because behind the polite smiles, behind the ceremonial waves and royal traditions, something colder was waiting: judgment, suspicion, and in some moments, outright humiliation. What happened next wasn't one awkward moment or a single uncomfortable crowd reaction. No, it was a pattern, a series of public scenes that slowly revealed how deeply divided the British public had become about the woman who once promised to modernize the monarchy, but instead walked away from it. And the first moment that sent shockwaves through royal watchers happened outside Windsor Castle, during one of the most emotionally heavy days the country had seen in decades, the mourning of the Queen. Prince William, Prince Harry, Princess Catherine, and Meghan Markle stepped forward to greet the mourners gathered along the gates of Windsor. Cameras were rolling. The world was watching. It should have been a quiet, respectful moment, but something subtle and strangely tense unfolded along the railing. While the other royals politely waved and exchanged handshakes, Meghan seemed eager to lean deeper into the crowd, offering hugs and extended greetings as if trying to create a warmer, more personal connection. But then she approached a woman standing firmly against the rail, and the atmosphere shifted instantly. The woman didn't smile, she didn't lean forward, she didn't even move. Meghan appeared to expect the usual polite reception, maybe a handshake, maybe a grateful greeting. Instead, the woman stared coldly ahead and ignored her completely, as if Meghan wasn't even there. The snub was so sharp it almost froze the moment in time. Meghan tried to recover quickly, moving along the line as if nothing had happened, but cameras had already captured the moment. And across Britain, people noticed. Because in the United Kingdom, tradition matters deeply, and when the public believes someone has broken that tradition, forgiveness does not come easily. That reality became painfully clear again during the Queen's Jubilee celebration. The event was meant to honor 70 years of the monarch's reign, a moment of unity, celebration, and pride. But when Harry and Meghan arrived at the cathedral, the mood outside told a very different story. As they walked out after the ceremony, something unexpected echoed through the crowd. Booing, loud, unmistakable booing coming from multiple directions. Not cheers, not applause, booing. For a brief moment, the smiles froze on their faces as the sound rolled through the street. It was a reaction few people had ever seen directed at Prince Harry before, and the message from parts of the public was brutally clear. Many believed the couple had betrayed the royal family, but the tension didn't stop there. At another public event, things escalated from silent disapproval to open confrontation. As Meghan and Harry arrived at an awards night, stepping out of their car under the flash of cameras, a voice suddenly cut through the crowd. Loud, accusatory, impossible to ignore. Harry, what do you think about destroying the royal family? Meghan, you destroyed the royal family. The words echoed across the entrance, forcing the couple to quickly move inside the venue. They didn't respond, they didn't look back, but everyone heard it, and everyone watching understood the deeper issue behind it, a growing belief among critics that Meghan had influenced Harry to step away from royal duties. Whether fair or not, the accusation had become part of the public narrative. And then came one of the most quietly devastating royal decisions of all, a move made not by the public but by the Queen herself during the Platinum Jubilee in 2022. The celebration marked 70 years of her reign, and millions expected to see the entire royal family gathered together on the Buckingham Palace balcony. But the Queen made a very specific announcement: only working royals would appear. The message was diplomatic, carefully worded, but impossible to misinterpret. Harry and Meghan would not be there. For a couple who once stood at the center of royal ceremonies, the balcony had become off limits, and suddenly the question hanging over every one of these moments became impossible to ignore. Were these just awkward coincidences, or were they signs of something much deeper happening between Meghan Markle and the country she once joined as a duchess? And if those moments already felt uncomfortable, what happened next made the tension impossible to ignore, because the pattern didn't stop with a few cold looks or one awkward public reaction. It kept repeating in bigger crowds, louder venues, and increasingly public situations where the message seemed to echo the same unsettling question: had the relationship between Meghan Markle and the public reached a point where even polite royal courtesy could no longer hide the friction? One moment that captured this perfectly happened at the Endeavour Fund Awards, an event that was supposed to celebrate wounded servicemen and women and highlight the achievements of veterans. The night should have been filled with admiration and respect, and when Meghan and Harry arrived, cameras flashed and photographers rushed forward expecting a glamorous royal entrance. But as they stepped out of the car, the atmosphere shifted instantly. ceremony. Instead of applause, a wave of booing rolled through the crowd. Not a quiet murmur, but loud, unmistakable disapproval echoing across the venue entrance. Meghan tried to maintain her composure, smiling as she walked forward, but there are moments when even the brightest smile cannot disguise the tension hanging in the air. For Prince Harry, it was particularly shocking because it was widely reported to be one of the first times in his life he had been booed in public. A prince once adored by the public now walking through a crowd that sounded deeply divided about his choices. And then came a moment inside royal circles that insiders claim spoke volumes without a single dramatic confrontation. At a party hosted by King Charles, Harry and Meghan were among the guests, but reports suggested Meghan appeared visibly uncomfortable with the event, allegedly complaining and behaving as if she didn't want to be there. Royal observers noticed it, and so did Camilla. What happened next was quiet but revealing. A royal aide approached Harry and informed him that a car was waiting outside. Shortly afterward, Charles reportedly told Harry they should leave. No argument, no scene, just a polite but unmistakable exit that signaled their presence was no longer necessary. Moments like that in royal settings are rarely accidental. They are carefully orchestrated signals, subtle reminders of where people stand within the royal hierarchy. When she looked at him, Harry's expression reportedly turned serious and stern, the kind of look that instantly communicates a message without needing words. He told her to turn around and face forward. She did. Observers noted that she looked visibly uncomfortable afterward, almost as if holding back emotion. It was a small moment, but in the rigid world of royal etiquette, small moments can speak very loudly. Then there was the now infamous microphone moment at a Kevin Costner charity event. Meghan and Harry were invited to present an award, and as they approached the stage, Meghan confidently stepped forward toward the microphone, appearing ready to speak. But the host held the microphone firmly and did not immediately hand it over. What followed looked like a brief and awkward tug of war over who would control the moment. For a split second, it seemed as if Meghan expected to take the microphone naturally, but the host didn't release it, leaving the situation hanging awkwardly in front of the audience. Realizing the tension, Meghan quickly stepped back and allowed the host to continue, retreating from the moment before it could escalate further. Meghan and Harry attended an NBA game, and during halftime, their faces appeared on the giant arena jumbotron, the kind of moment celebrities usually receive cheers and applause for. But instead, a surprising wave of boos and mocking reactions spread through sections of the crowd. The couple tried to laugh it off, smiling and waving as if the reaction didn't matter, but stadium crowds are brutally honest. Their response revealed something about how polarizing their public image had become, even far from Britain. And when you step back and connect all these moments, the Windsor snub, the Jubilee boos, the shouted accusations, the balcony restriction, the royal party exit, the protocol correction, the microphone struggle, the awkward celebrity stage moment, and even the arena reaction, a pattern begins to emerge that feels larger than simple bad luck. Each incident alone might be explained away. A misunderstanding here, a tense crowd there, but together they paint a much more complicated picture of Meghan Markle's relationship with the public, the royal family, and the spotlight she once stepped into with such confidence. Because in the world of royalty, reputation is everything, and once public perception begins to shift, it rarely happens quietly. It unfolds through moments like these, small scenes, subtle gestures, and reactions from crowds that say far more than official statements ever could. The real question now isn't whether these moments happened. The cameras captured them. The crowds heard them. The world watched them. The question lingering beneath all of it is something much more unsettling. Were these isolated humiliations or early warning signs of a much deeper fracture between Meghan Markle and the institution she once stood beside? And if the story has taught us anything so far, it's this: the tension surrounding Meghan Markle is far from over, and the next chapter might reveal even more than the world has already seen.